Have you ever found yourself in a relationship with an emotionally detached man and asked yourself, is he over me? Have you noticed a gradual distance forming between you and your boyfriend or you and your husband and just want to get things back into a healthier place with him? I'm going to address emotionally distant men and what to do with them right now. Hey everyone, happy 2020. I'm dating a relationship coach, Ryan Patrick. So I was planning on having this first video of the new year be about proven ways to attract men. But I'm gonna save that one for next week. Instead, I've received an overwhelming amount of comments from attached women wanting me to do a video about men who become emotionally distant, but also how they can go about spotting emotionally unavailable men. And because you guys spoke in overwhelming numbers, it seemed more than appropriate that this first video of 2020 be about just that. And I would like to thank Spooky Spectre, who comments in virtually all of my videos, for also requesting this video topic. So thank you, Spooky Spectre, this one's for you. So in this video, I'm gonna start by making a distinction between emotionally distant men and emotionally unavailable men, and highlight some stark and important differences between the two. Next, I'm gonna hone in on the main reasons men become emotionally distant, and I'm gonna touch on why it may have taken you a little while to notice his gradual pulling away. And for that reason, the emotionally distant man is a lot harder to spot than the emotionally unavailable man, simply because of how much closer attached women are to these men. And we're gonna explore those subtleties in detail. So even if you're not in a relationship right now, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to manage that communication with him, so stay tuned. Now, let's talk about the emotionally unavailable man. So for all of you single ladies out there, this guy is gonna be much easier to spot the first time you're getting to know him. And as I've discussed in other videos, when you're first getting to know a man, the trick is managing your own expectations of what's actually happening with him and to not fall for him too fast. You go into it making a deal with yourself that he's the one putting in the work. He's the one initiating texts with you. He's the one setting up dates. He's the one pursuing you, not the other way around. If you go into meeting men with this mindset, emotionally unavailable men will naturally sort themselves out of your lives because he will rarely put in this amount of work with you, period. Next, so you either get a zero effort from him or the complete opposite. He'll be trying so hard, it'll feel a little too good to be true. Now on that end of the spectrum, he might be setting you up to be his rebound, especially if he just got out of a relationship. And in that case, you'll get a whole bunch of effort up front with the inevitable emotional detachment and distancing happening shortly thereafter. So that's the emotionally unavailable man in a nutshell, guys. Now, let's talk about reasons men become emotionally distant in relationships. There are two main reasons I want to focus on because these are certainly the most common and they are the biggest. Number one is he's already cheating on you either physically or emotionally. Or number two, somewhere along the line with this guy, the communication lines didn't just fall down, they were kicked down. Now look, I'm not here to point fingers, but what I am here to do is help you take full accountability for you and take full responsibility for any errors that you may have made in the equation. Now for the guy needs to go find his channel and work on his stuff. But right now, I'm here for you guys. Typically, if men don't feel like your relationship is in a place where he can be open with you anymore, he will clam up and go back to his quiet corner somewhere, wherever that is. If you find yourself deep down driving towards winning arguments with him, like you just have to win, the women that do that will find that they typically win the argument but they lose the relationship. Now, I want to remind you from previous videos where we discussed this, men already have a tough time opening their hearts to you, okay? That isn't our jam by nature. We as men are attracted to women because of their softness and their kind-hearted nature, because that represents everything that we are not on a primitive and or instinctual level. It's intriguing to us. So if you gain that trust with us, we're gonna feel safe with you to open up and talk about things that we've never even thought about talking about before. That's when you'll see that softer side from us come out. But let's just say there's an argument. As soon as we're snapped at, or as soon as we're bulldozed to the point where we feel like we can't express ourselves ourselves, we're like a turtle. You ever try to touch a turtle's head and just watch his head just get sucked right back into the shell? That's what we're talking about here. So I'll ask you to be honest with yourself. If you're in a relationship right now and you've been with this man for any period of time, has there been a natural progression towards lashing out, being short, giving him the silent treatment, cutting him off, or doing anything even on a semi-regular basis that's communicating to him that he is no longer making you happy in some way? Recognizing what led to the distance in the first place is half the battle. But just understand, men don't really know how to recover from this. If you're the only one that they confide in, they open up to you and now they've learned that you're really upset with them, and you're not really showing them the path of how they can make things right with you, men will retreat. 9 times out of 10, they're out of there. They're gonna go into a quiet part of the house or the apartment, and they will pretty much be shell-shocked psychologically. We are not equipped to handle these situations on our own. Most of us guys just have a very difficult time equipping ourselves with the right resources to figure out what just happened. It's just hopeless to us in many ways. You ever see a fish out of water? Like, they don't know what the heck to do. That's men in these situations. And it sounds like almost like a childlike state, doesn't it? That's because it is. Subconsciously, we are reverting back to when we disappointed our mothers as children. Why? Because this is our memory recalling what is the closest situation that mirrors what just happened with you in an argument. And that's why you don't see us put up much of a fight. Because even as kids, we weren't gonna win against mom. And for a lot of guys, the fight is already lost. And we'll just roll over and we're done. So am I asking you to use kid gloves on the man when you see him screw up a little bit? Yes and no. As a woman, you are equipped with a very sophisticated set of emotional tools to resolve conflict with anyone, especially men. So when you and your boyfriend or you and your husband has an issue that comes up, he in effect is going to be looking to you to see the best path forward. You're essentially the leader on these emotional journeys. Everything from your facial expressions to your voice intonation, all of these things that you do are going to indicate to him whether you two are going to make it out of this or not. So what are some of the best practices to prevent a man from becoming emotionally distant, from cheating on you because he thinks the relationship is pretty much over anyway, or from giving you the silent treatment? By being the cool, calm, clear communicator always in times of conflict. Now I know what some of you are probably saying, oh my God, Ryan, you're saying that women are always at fault and we've got to use kid gloves and all of that. That's not what I'm saying. As I mentioned before, I'm here for you guys being fully accountable in every and all ways to have the best outcome with your men. Like I said before, men are fallible too. Men screw up. Oh my God, do men screw up. They're gonna have to do the work themselves. They're gonna have to find another channel. They're gonna have to find a therapist. They're gonna have to do the work on their own, just like you right now are doing the work on yourself to make yourself better. So, did your guy screw up royally and you wanna tear him a new one? Wait. Just wait until you've reclaimed that space for yourself. Reclaim that calm state and just take a deep breath and then take another one. Now you'll notice that my voice is lower, I'm speaking more slowly, and my gaze is a little softer. If you can come into situations on this level, this is something that I've mentioned in another video, it's called entrainment. You're creating the standard of energy that's coming into a conflict. If you can stay right here, even if he's bouncing off the walls and he's up here and blah, 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 as long as you stay right here the whole time and you don't let that phase you up here. The laws of entrainment say that when he's bouncing off the walls and you're right here, he's gonna come right down to your level. May take a little while, but you know what? It's worth the wait. It's worth the wait to keep him connected to you, keep him centered, so you guys can live out a happy and long life together. And even in those times when he's screwing up, and maybe he's angry, and maybe he's just lashing out emotionally, and he's just kicking and screaming, and he doesn't even know what's going on. as long as you treat him with that deference, he's always gonna remember this. And he's gonna appreciate you bringing that energy into this, instead of you being up here or you yelling at him or lashing out. This is you being accountable for you, because that's all you can do. And if you give him that deference, believe me, if he's the right guy for you, he's gonna find little ways to return the favor. And he's typically gonna do that through one of the 5 love languages, which you've also heard me talk about in other videos. And the great thing is he'll do these things without even realizing it, because he wants to express his love to you. Now, for those of you that are interested in learning more about the 5 love languages, I created a great resource for this on my blog. Now, if you'd like to check that out, you guys are just gonna wanna go to daterboy.com/5love. Yep, and for those of you who didn't know, I do have a blog. Aside from the 5 love languages article, there's a lot of great resources on there. I can only make videos at a certain pace, but there's a lot of information over there for single moms, older women looking to date younger men, for example, how to have a fling. And you'll see a lot of crossover between some of the videos and some of the blog articles. So I'd love for you to explore and check that out. You guys are gonna see articles for men over there as well. I got a little bit for everybody. So that's that. Also, thank you so much to all you guys that chimed in on the community tab when I was asking about whether or not you'd like to see YouTube lives in the future. I want to announce that we're going to be trying out our first YouTube live ever this January 22nd at 6 p.m. Los Angeles time. So once again, we're going to be doing the first YouTube live on this channel for about an hour on Wednesday, January 22nd at 6 p.m. Los Angeles time. So make sure to mark your calendars for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to keep this first YouTube live really open in terms of the topics that are discussed. So feel free to come with whatever questions that you have or you haven't already had answered by me in the comments or by anyone else in the community, because people have been really great at just chiming in the comments and just giving their opinions, which is awesome. And if you do miss the live version, of course, there will be a recording of that on this channel. So you guys will be able to watch that in its full entirety when you guys have time. Also, feel free to check out my blog, daterboy.com. Would really love to hear what you guys think about some of the content there. Happy New Year to you guys. If you guys found this video helpful, I'd really appreciate a like below, and I'll see y'all next Monday.